Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something absolutely crucial and honestly pretty fascinating. We're looking at how an organization takes its workforce, just a standard group of everyday employees, and completely transforms them into an independent, self-sustaining powerhouse. Our focus today is on professional capacity building and strategic workforce development. We're going to break down the exact step-by-step inputs required to make this actually happen, and then look at the incredible benefits waiting for you on the other side.
Okay, let's dive into this. The entire foundation of this framework really boils down to three words: smart compliance solutions. Now, we aren't just talking about, arbitrarily checking boxes on some regulatory form just to keep the fines away. If you've ever spent a holiday weekend totally panicking over an upcoming audit, you know exactly how painful and just wildly inefficient that reactive approach is, right? Instead, we're exploring a methodology where compliance actually becomes an active, highly intelligent part of how your business runs every single day. It's about working smarter, not just harder, when it comes to hitting those industry standards.
To really ground these concepts in reality, we're looking at the architects behind this specific methodology, Gvs Advisory. We're going to follow their highly structured roadmap for training and capacity building. Because, by examining their specific, proven approach, we can completely deconstruct how a specialized workforce is built, literally from the ground up.
So let's move right into our first major section, the inputs. What exactly is this process?
Well, the foundation doesn't rely on some generic, one-size-fits-all instruction manual. Honestly, those never work anyway. Instead, it relies on highly customized, sector-specific training curricula. We're talking about incredibly dense, critical corporate topics being unpacked through hands-on capacity-building workshops. Think labor rights, health, safety, and environment, HSE, environmental, social, and governance, or ESG, and corporate governance. To put that into perspective, rather than forcing a manufacturing plant to watch a generic corporate safety video, they get protocols designed for their exact machinery and floor layout. And the absolute key here, these workshops aren't just designed for the executives sitting up in a boardroom. They are explicitly targeted at both management and everyday workers. That's how you ensure complete, top-to-bottom alignment across the entire company.
But it doesn't stop there. The training pushes way beyond the basics into highly specialized development. They focus heavily on internal auditor development and leadership awareness workshops. Basically, they're training the trainers, which makes the whole system totally scalable. You're no longer trapped in that endless cycle of hiring outside consultants every single quarter. And to actually deliver all this crucial information effectively, they architect custom e-learning and virtual platforms to make sure this learning is accessible, engaging, and continuous.
Which brings us to a really critical pivot point. I want you to think about all of this for a second. What is the actual benefit for your workforce? All of these massive inputs, the customized workshops, the shiny virtual platforms, the specialized auditor development. What do they actually achieve when they're applied to your unique operational reality?
Well, that brings us straight into Section 2, the outcomes. This is the direct benefit to you, the client. The immediate result of plugging these customized inputs into your company is the professional upskilling of your entire workforce. You are directly raising the baseline capability and knowledge of literally every single person on your team. And this brilliantly illustrates the deeper, lasting transformation that's taking place. Honestly, the source material describes it best, stating that this process embeds a resilient culture of compliance within your everyday operations. Think about that. Compliance is no longer seen as this specialized, annoying chore tacked on to the end of a long shift. It becomes the resilient, natural way your team operates. It is literally built into their DNA. Now, what's really interesting about this is how clearly we can map the starting point right to the finish line. Those customized workshops we were just talking about, they directly translate into a resilient shield of operational independence. It's a straight-up cause and effect. You put in highly targeted, sector-specific education on the front end, and you get out a self-sufficient, highly compliant operational machine on the back end. Ultimately, all of these shifts lead us to one incredibly powerful concept: total internal sustainability. That is the core goal of Gvs Advisory's framework. It's to empower your team to sustain international standards entirely on their own. You are actively building the capacity to self-regulate, to self-audit, and to lead from within. It completely removes the need to rely on constant, expensive outside intervention.
Which leaves us with this final, vital thought to consider as we wrap up this explainer. Can your management team sustain international standards entirely on their own? I really want to challenge you to think about your current operational independence right now.
Are you constantly relying on external fixes just to stay compliant, or have you actually built that resilient culture of compliance from the inside out? It's a pretty powerful question to ask yourself today. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will catch you next time.